Hi, in this video we're going to see how the portfolio return and the portfolio variance are going to change with the different weights for its component stocks. So we're still going to use the two stock situation where we have stock A and stock B, their basic information given here, right? So I have the returns and the standard deviation or the risks, and of course the correlation coefficient here. But now we're going to use Excel to help us to graph the portfolio return and the variances with different weights. Okay, let's start with stock A. So suppose we start with 0 stock A here, then we must have 100% stock B since there are only two stocks in this case. So we can use 1 minus that, right? So we need a very clear looking, nice looking graph on Excel. So we don't need too many of those data points, but not too few of them either. So we can choose 5% as the increment for the weights, and this should give us 21 data points here, considering the both ends, right? So the next weight for stock A is going to be 0.05. Okay, so the rest of the weights you can enter them manually, but you don't have to. So on Excel, you can drag here by clicking the bottom right box, and until you have as many numbers you want. But you can also use a shortcut, which is selecting all the rest boxes or the cells you want to fill by clicking Shift and right arrow here. Okay, so use the arrow keys to navigate, and then press F2, which will show you the first cell that we're going to sort of replicate and its formula within that cell, and then hit Control and Enter. Okay, so Excel would do it for you. So we'll use the same way to calculate stock B's weight. Okay, so starting from the first cell with that formula, and hit Shift and right arrow until you have enough boxes here, and then F2 to show that formula, and Control and Enter here. So you have the rest of the weights calculated nicely done. Okay, nicely for you. Right, then we need to calculate the return here. The return is going to be the weight for stock A multiplied the return for stock A plus the weight for stock B multiplied by the return for the stock B. Okay, so let's do it with the weight here multiplied by stock A's return, but I do not wish this number to change because we're going to fix that position on Excel. So let's hit F4 here. So you can see there are two dollar signs here, which means that row and column numbers are being frozen or being fixed for this calculation. Okay, and then we add stock B's weights and stock B's return as well, and hit F4 again. So now we have 25%. So why is it 25% in this case? Because we have 100% stock B in the portfolio here. So it's basically just stock B itself. So the return for the portfolio is the same as the return for stock B itself, right? So let's calculate the rest of it by using the shortcut here on hotkeys here. So I have all the returns calculated, and the last one will be 15%, which is 100% stock A. Right, now let's do the variance. So hopefully you still remember the variance calculations here. So W1 squared, sigma 1 squared, W2 squared, sigma 2 squared, and 2 times rho sigma 1, sigma 2, and W1, W2. Okay, so let's do the weights first. Okay, so weight for stock A squared multiplied by stock A's variance, which is the standard deviation squared. Okay, but also fix that number there to the power of 2 plus stock B's weight squared multiplied by stock B's variance here, also fix that number, plus 2 times the weights, the standard deviations, and also fix those standard deviations positions, all right, and then the correlation coefficient, and fix that as well. All right, so this should give us 0.09 for the first calculation here. So why is it 0.09? Again, it's just stock B itself. So the variance for the portfolio is basically 0.3 to the power of 2, which is 0.09. Let's do the calculations for the rest of the variances using the same technique here. Right, now we have those numbers. Okay, now we have those numbers here. Right, So let's take a look at the return here, at the returns here. So the return seems to be monotonically decreasing, and that's true because stock B itself will offer a higher return. So the more stock B we have in the portfolio, the higher return. Okay. Now let's take a look at the variance here. So it's it seems like it's also decreasing monotonically, but let's take a look at this number here. Okay, so it decreased to 0.009 and then it increased to 0.01. So it's because of numbers I've given here. It's not very clear, but the variances would be decreasing and then increase again. So it's a U-shaped variance. Okay, so let's finally put all this data on a graph. Okay, so now we'll ask Excel to draw the graph for us. Let's select all the data here, and then on the top hand toolbar here we have insert, and then the charts. We would have a chart like this. Okay, so we would have a scatter plot and of course the curve that goes through the plots here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this. Right. Normally, we wouldn't have the return on the horizontal axis and the variances on the vertical axis. We would like to switch their positions. So it's doable in Excel, but we can do it manually. So right-click on this chart and select data here. We have a blank series here because I have a blank row here for the better picture. So we can remove that and then click on variance and then edit that. So we can manually enter the X values and Y values here. So for the X values, click that arrow here. I don't want the returns as the X values, but rather the variances. So I select all the variances here. Okay, and I click that arrow again. And for the Y values, we need the returns rather than variances. So let's select all the returns here. Okay, and then okay, here. Now we have a tilted 90 degrees tilted graph or the picture for the variances and the return. Okay, so let's take a look at the shape of it. It's going to be looking like a curve, but depending on the numbers, you can change or play around the numbers a little bit, and the graph here will change. So let's take a look. If we change the stock A's return standard deviation to 0.2, so that's going to change our calculations and our graph as well. Okay, so let's use 0.2 instead. So let's take a look at the portfolios that are scattered around this area. So for these portfolios, I can always find a better deal than any of these portfolios. So for example, this portfolio here, which gives us 15% of the return and 4% of the variance, is always going to be worse than this portfolio here with the same variance but a lot higher return. So for the same risk, why would we settle for a portfolio that gives us lower return? So we always prefer something with higher return, provided they have the same risks, right? So these portfolios that are below this imaginary horizontal line are said to be dominated or strictly dominated by any of those better portfolios with the higher returns but offers the same variance. Okay, so we would never purchase or invest any of those portfolios on this area or on this section of the curve, but rather we would prefer something over here. Okay, so this is the shape, or this is the curve, the relationship between the return and the variance for a two-stock portfolio. Okay, you can play around the numbers just like I did. You can change the expected returns, and you can change any of those numbers and see how this picture or this graph is going to change. And we'll do some of those variations for the basic information in the next video, and I'll see you there.